Over time, many people will get a My Projects list that is long and confusing to look through. And if in particular you want to start your data entry by choosing the project and then choosing data entry, or you want to look at something like the project overview or upload documents, it's really nice to have these in an order that's easier to find your way around. So we're going to take a look at how you can change the listing in your My Projects box. We'll use my profile as example, so I clicked on my name to get to the editable page, and I'm going to click on projects. Now I could edit one by one in here, but that would be a nuisance. So I'm going to click on the bright orange button that says Edit Project Roles. And this list is very long because I've been at this for a while, but let's just go over the basics. The order of the project is the order it'll show up. So you notice a lot of these have zeros. If that project has a zero in it and it's still an active project where I am active in it, then that's going to show up in my project list first in alphabetical order. So all the zeros will be grouped in alphabetical orders. Then I can assign other numbers if I want things to show up in different places in the order. So in the case of LMPN AS coordinators and their staff, you might want staff that are only doing Clean Boats, Clean Waters to have all their Clean Boats, Clean Waters projects showing up in the same kind of order. You give them zeros, or you could just number each one, 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever makes it easier. Remember, if they all have the same number, though, they will show up in alphabetical order. For LMPN coordinators and any staff doing the larger variety of work, you may want to have your LMPN project for the current year be listed as a 0 and everything else have a higher number so that those projects come up first. So you're going to have your main project, and then remember you'll have 3 child projects, which are the LMPN project for AS monitoring, Clean Boats, Clean Waters, and citizen training. So it's nice to have those up top for entering data. Then if you still had your older projects showing up in the list, you're going to want to change the status so that those drop out and you don't see them, but you can still search them by the project ID. If for some reason you want them to keep showing up in your list, give them a number like 15 and they'll show up down towards the bottom. All right, so what do you do to make things not show up? In the role status, you have to choose complete, inactive, or other. So usually I choose complete if the project is complete. I choose inactive. It's simply me being inactive in the project. And then other could be any other reason, like somebody left a job, but usually that would be an inactive. And you also need to put an end date. Now, sometimes we don't know the actual end date for a project, let's say, or for a person's role in the project. Let's say I've been helping with a project with somebody who's now done, they've left. I don't find out about it for 3 months. It's perfectly okay if the end date I put in is the date that I learned about it. These are not strict historical records, but you do have to have the end date, or else if that person comes back, it's still going to show up in their list. Also, once you change their status in the project to inactive, other, or complete and put in an end date, that also updates the actual project so that when people look at the project page, they will see that that particular person is no longer active in the project. All right, so I did see one I wanted to change in my list. Let's go back. Actually, I took a no, I don't have that screenshot. Let's just go back to my projects for a second. So I've got AS Incident Reports Jefferson County here. I have 3 other projects where I could actually enter data at some point. They're mainly in here as examples, but I have a wave project that I do with a friend, then Bait Shop Initiative and Purple Loosestrife for Jefferson County, along with this AS incident report. Everything else, those are the projects that I primarily coordinate. So I want to move AIS incident reports Jefferson County down to these other 3. The fact that it's way up here, it's an A, and it has a top billing in the project box makes me think it's listed as a 0 right now. So I'm going to go see what those other ones are listed as and give them all the same number and they'll show up at the bottom. So I came back to my profile, I click edit project roles. Now I have to do the long task of storing through. So here's AS Incident Reports, Jefferson County. I'm just going to give it a 10 because I haven't used the 10 a lot, so that should probably work. If I can find the other projects, I will give it all the same number. There's Allen Creek, that's listed as a 10. We'll leave that. And I've already forgotten what the others were. And they should be, okay, Purple Loosestrife, Jefferson County. No, that's not the right one. Here's the right one. We'll make that a 10. The other one was the Bait Shop Initiative. I do not see it. I'm gonna scroll back and see if I went past it. Bait Shop Initiative, Jefferson County, that is a 10. So I'm going to scroll to the bottom, save and return. And now when I go to my projects and I scroll down to the bottom of my list, I have all those reportable projects at the bottom. So now for you, you might want everything that you have to do or incident reports or entering data for at the top or right after your LMPN projects. The whole point of this particular video is to show that you have the opportunity to clean up that list. Once you click save after making those changes, you'll see the changes the next time you go into the My Projects box, and it might make life a little easier.